Welcome, viewer. If you're joining right now, this is the Cardinal Talk Show that comes to you on LTN every single Sunday night like today. And again, we are going to be discussing matters political here, things that actually made headlines over the week. Most notably is the turmoil in the party ODM that has seen the Secretary General actually relinquish his position, the Vice Chair and other members from Western Province. As a matter of fact, this has dented the image of that biggest party in the country, and the pundits are wondering, where is this party headed to, even as the party leader prepares to go and invade the area tomorrow just to steady his ship. That is the Orange Democratic Movement. To me, with me to discuss this is a panel here. Today we've got a very, very new face here, and a lady, of course. It's so refreshing to have ladies around. I don't know, I just welcome you to the show. Please tell us your name as we move on.
Yeah, my name is Grace Ngugi, and I'm a political analyst and also a consultant and a human rights defender.
Wow, all folded in one.
Yes.
Good. And the usual suspects. Yeah, we've got here the patriot number one. He says he's a taxpayer, and he doesn't blink an eye while saying that. Your name, sir?
My name is Anthony Jaragenyo. I'm a patriotic guy. And a taxpayer, of course.
And a taxpayer, of course. Yes, Anthony. Quite events that we people watched, people actually witnessed. Babu Namwamba saying no, it's enough, and ODM again says no, you must tender in your resignation officially in 7 days. So what's happening with ODM? It's not a very unfamiliar script. It happened sometimes with William Ruto, Mudavadi and the rest. What is eating the Orange Party?
I think we have a problem, particularly in Kenya, because most political parties are not so much enshrined on principles, and you'd say these are what this particular party stands for, and even the members, and they say these are what they stand for. I think our political parties have not developed to the extent that you say these are my beliefs, and these beliefs I can only get them in this political party. In regards to Babu Namwamba, though I'm not always very keen on discussing individuals, but on this particular time, I'll talk a little bit about him.
No.
And one of the reasons I'm asking myself, what is the legitimacy of Ababu leaving ODM? What are the reason, the fundamentals that they say this goes against my principle? That's why I'm leaving ODM. Or as resigning as a Secretary General.
It says it's been disrespected. It's not been given enough space to operate as a Secretary General. Those are what I think. That's what he said in his own.
And to tell you the truth, I remember there's a particular time when Minister John Michuki was removed from the Ministry of Transport to Environment, and immediately he got into the Ministry of Environment. We started filling him. He started cleaning Nairobi River. And there are certain things that Michuki did that, despite the fact that the ministry was a small one, but you could fill it. And any position that you get, however little as it may be, you must be felt. So the question then you must ask yourself, what was the achievement of Babu Namwamba as a Secretary General in ODM? So those are things that now we'll have to interrogate. And then say, who is this particular person that was supposed to give him space that denied him that space?
Good.
And then another thing we also have to check, because he was working as a team, how was he able to gel with the team that he was supposed to work with? If he's not able to tell us that, then we'll say maybe there's certain interest that he's following that was not being that were not being met in ODM. But then we also have to look at the history. I remember when Babu Namwamba started doing his PhD in Canada, and we used to exchange a lot of emails together, and to the point that by 2007, I remember even him inviting me for a fundraise for his campaign.
Was it a PhD or was it a master's degree?
A PhD. He was a PhD student.
Okay.
And I remember him inviting me for a fundraise for his campaign and for his party leader. And then afterwards, of course, he won the Budalangi seat, and then became a member of parliament. He was appointed minister, And after being appointed minister, when the term was over, the following term, he was made the chairman of Parliamentary Accounts Committee. Those are things that you say the party was able to entrust him with. So the question then is, how did he perform in those roles that the party gave him? For example, as a minister for sports and youth affairs, what was his contribution? As a minister for fishery, what was his contribution? And then and then also as a chairman of Parliamentary Accounts Committee, what was his contribution? Because at the time he was being removed from Parliamentary Account Committee, he was being accused of taking bribe. Those are the accusations. So those are things that now Kenyans will have to interrogate and ask ourselves, was Ababu in ODM out of principle or out of interest?
Good. Coming to you, my dear, what, in your opinion, informs this action from Ababu Namwamba? Is there any serious fundamental reasons that you look at and say Ababu Namwamba is moving out and also causing all this kind of fire with the reason, or is just a political move that is aimed at achieving some other ends other than what he wants us to believe?
First of all, it's not only Ababu Namwamba in ODM. It started long time ago with William Ruto, who decided to walk away because he could not be given a good chance in ODM. We have had
what are these chances? What are these chances?
You see,
when we talk about a chance in a political party, what is the chance that a politician needs in a political party? If you're in that establishment, if you subscribe to that ideology, and you are part and parcel of this kind of party, what chance again are you craving for, other than being a member and doing your part inside the party?
One, you're given with one hand, and also it's taken away with the other hand.
Yeah.
And that's what has been happening in ODM.
Yeah.
If you look at Ababu Namwamba, he was the Secretary General, and he has been complaining that he was not able to do his work well because there are other forces.
So much patronage.
Patronage,
yeah,
whereby he is not able to do his work well.
Yeah.
You look at somebody like Gumo.
Yeah, Fred
Gumo. There are people who have invested a lot of money and a lot of their time in ODM. But why did they leave the party? That shows that there is no democracy. You cannot decide when you're in the party because the patron has to be consulted. If you want to work well, even if you're the boss, give people a chance to work within their jurisdictions, and then if they make any mistake, that's when you come in. But if you start even fighting the house girl in the house, and you are the man of the house, you start fighting the tea girls in the office, then you lose being in that position.
Yeah.
And like Ababu Namwamba, people right now have been enlightened of their political rights and every right that they have in this country that has been enshrined in our constitution. If you look at ODM, it's one of the parties that if the patron decides this is the man that is going to head and to do ABCD, that's final.
That's final.
Just come to Jubilee. Yeah. Jubilee, it's not like that. Jubilee, there's democracy.
There's democracy, in your own opinion?
In my own opinion,
yeah,
there's democracy because people decide, not the head. Even the president himself, our Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta,
yeah,
he cannot decide for the people. And once he decides, people tells him, no, we are not going that way. You have to involve us and you have to engage us. Yeah. So ODM needs to clean its house.
There's so much mess inside the house.
There's so much messes. And these cocoons of only our people. Our people. Because now Western Kenya, they are feeling that we have been left behind. We have no share. And that's why you can hear Ababu Namwamba saying, if I'm going to move from this party, I'll come for my share.
Yeah.
Because he has invested, which now he's being fought. I think it's wise for the patron to call the leaders and to do away with these people who are surrounding him and lying to him, and they cannot bring anything on that party, in that party. because like Ababu Namwamba, Fred Gumo, they can bring votes from Western Kenya. But if you concentrate on the only problem that he's facing, he's only concentrating on only one region now, or two regions. That is the Luo Nyanza and Mombasa. Because
So-
now Luyas have come to realize that we have been used. Now it's a use and dump thing,
And,
which happens in Rift Valley.
Yeah,
Yes.
just a minute. If you say that, I look at this situation like Ababu Namwamba was a minister in the just ended government before Uhuru Kenyatta came in.
Yes.
Ababu Namwamba was made the Parliamentary Service Accounts Committee chair, courtesy of ODM. During that time of the Grand Coalition government, the Luya community actually had like 5 or 6 cabinet ministers who were actually picked by the Honorable Raila Odinga to actually head different portfolios. I don't know what again, as an opposition, the party ODM should have given to the Babus and the Tumas to make them feel that they belong. I don't know.
Look at it this way.
I don't know. How do you make it?
Nick, Ababu has always been the favorite of the party leader. And if you look at the
Favorite to mean what?
favorite, let me tell you. Busia County had two major ministers. You had Ababu Namwamba and Utuma, full ministers.
I remember. I don't Minister of Fisheries, something like that.
Yes,
Development, something like that.
Yes. Now, why Ababu? Because there were other members of parliament from Western that could have been given the minister. But you see, Ababu has always been treated, if you ask me, with some soft gloves, like he was the kid in the house.
By who? By who?
By the party leader.
By the party leader.
By the party leader.
Yeah.
Now, let's say this, and this I really sympathize with Ababu Namwamba.
You sympathize with Ababu Namwamba?
I come from Ugenya.
Yeah.
They are my neighbors. I have gone to Ababu's constituency several times. I've also gone to Tuma's constituency several times. And in fact, actually, 1 month ago, I was in the Tuma's constituency, and he was actually there. And let me tell you historically, you remember in 2007, Mudi Awori actually comes from Tuma's constituency. Funyula, actually, and he was voted out. And now if you go to Funyula, if you come from Bumala to Siopod, the nice tarmac road that is there, it's amazing. And that was done during the time Mudi Awori was the vice president. Come 2007, with all that, and the fact that he was the vice president, with all that, yet the people of Funyula could actually vote vote Mudi Awori as vice president out. They could actually vote Julio Jambo out to vote in Utuma. Utuma was the underdog. Now you come to Ababu Namwamba. Ababu Namwamba, by the time he was running in 2007, you had Wanjala, who was assistant minister, who was more popular than Ababu. But the fact that Ababu came into ODM, so basically he inherited the support of ODM in his constituency. Look at it this way. Ababu Namwamba got 11,000 votes. Raila Odinga got 18,000 votes from Delangi. Wanjala got 5,000 votes. If you now say, okay, let's entrust Ababu with these 11,000, say those are guys who loved him and they voted him because they loved him. Then take the votes that Wanjala got, 5,000, add it to the difference between the vote of Ababu and Raila, which comes to 7,000. That comes to 12,000. Definitely Ababu is headed nowhere. Now, what I'm trying to say is this, that sometimes when you get out of a political party, you need to have legitimacy. You need to have the high moral grounds to say, these are the reasons. What is this? Is this that Ababu is saying that this is how I've been mistreated? You remember when he met the party leader, and he recorded him, went and played him. You never do that to your leader. And also, if you're having a meeting and is trying to get a solution. So the problem is, it's become difficult again to be called for them to have a solution when they know you'll always record the conversation they have.
So it's become very cheeky.
It's become very cheeky.
Okay. In your opinion, madam, do you think our political parties or our politicians are actually inclined towards particular ideologies? Because we would love also as Kenyans to look at our leaders. Just a minute. I'll be coming back to you. Talk about ideologies. Do you think our parties are developed and established in ideological ways, or is just the convenience sake that we people see? Pure political expediency. What is it that we are lacking in our political parties? Talk about any other party here in Kenya. Still, do we see political ideologies running these parties? And do we see the members of these parties actually subscribing to these ideologies, or is just pure political expediency?
I think if you look at our political parties, they have owners, and that's why you can hear
they are owned,
and they are not people-driven political parties, and that's where we go wrong as Kenyans.
Yeah,
I've worked in a certain political party at the next level, and when you go there are certain things that you can talk, and others that can be pushed by the party leader or the patron, and that doesn't give people democracy, because you want to do certain things, you want to change certain things, the way things are done. And if you look at our political parties, where have they been all this time round since 2014? Since we did our elections, they could have been operating. If you go to many of the political parties, the doors are closed. They are opening now. Why now? Because they are waiting for people from outside. You cannot come to my house after I've built it and you expect to sleep in my bedroom.
Is it possible?
It's impossible. You either sleep on my couch, or you go to the kitchen, I get you a mattress, you sleep there. And that's what it's killing our Kenyans' politics. Until we know what we want, until we own the process as the people. I've had complaints when it comes to political parties, even in the nominations. You have to get away, if you are a woman, you have either to give money. If you don't have money, you have to get sexual favors.
Wow.
Because you don't have anything to give.
Because of that, that's very
heavy.
So
we are telling them, if you're in any political party, own it, own the party, claim it.
Well said. It's even getting interesting. If you do give political, sexual favors for political reasons, it's sometimes very hard for the ladies to get positions. I think we'll be coming back to discuss this one further. Don't go away. This is the Cardinal Talk Show that comes to you every Sunday. Well, viewer, if you're joining right now, we are on with our discussion today. Our parties, more especially discussing ODM and the turmoil in it. Actually, it's becoming like it's a drama. Now, here, it's going to be in Kisii, it's been in Western, and it's all over. Suddenly, everybody's yelling that ODM, we've been here and it's not good. Why? You've been in this party like for 7-8 years, and then all of you, just like it's a group psychology kind of thing, and everybody chickens out. Just suddenly, it looks like a primary school drama. Anthony, what is cooking in the parties?
And this is something which is very interesting, that particularly right now, you would say, what is it that ODM or CORD can give to anyone in any region? They basically have nothing.
Give what?
And if you compare them to Jubilee, Jubilee can dangle the chairman of a board, board member, and they can dangle those kind of, they can even tell you can be economic attaché in Tanzania, they can take you to Southern Sudan when you'll be working from here. There's something they can dangle. But what is it that ODM can dangle to these guys? And let me tell you, If you see Gumu, who was a former minister and a member of parliament for Westlands, moving towards Jubilee, what is it that you think he's going there, out of policy or out of something grander? The reason is, this is a guy who told us that he has resigned from, he has retired. Active politics.
Yeah.
When you see him with the Langi, when you see him with Askari Kombo going to State House, you ask yourself, what is it that these guys are looking for? And it has nothing to do with policy or something about Western region. It has nothing to do. It's not about tarmac roads. It's not about agriculture. It's not about the Mumias sugar. It has nothing. It's about special, actually, their interest. Now, in regards to Western politics, one area that I'll tell you, without even blinking an eye, Busia is no go zone. Busia is an ODM place. And I would wish Ababu to realize that. He's a young man who has a lot of future. He would have built up his grassroots, built up his name, then, and wait. He would go very far. At the moment he started this war, let him not compare himself with Ruto, because how did Ruto get out of ODM? First, Ruto had a lot of money. With a lot of money and with his character. The two we could actually galvanize.
Yeah. From where? Then money.
Yes. Yeah. I don't want to go into that.
Okay.
But then compare that with the Babu. Compare that with the Babu. The Babu have the kind of money Ruto had?
Who knows?
I don't see it. Now, how is he going to launch his campaign in Western without that kind of money? Another thing, that Ababu was a young man. He should not start this kind of politics of CC Kama Waloe or CC from Western region. Then what will happen when it goes to Mombasa and you need to convince Adigo, who doesn't come from Western? And let him not forget that our politics is changing. The politics of balkanizing a region is not going to work. And that's why you notice Jubilee has realized they've balkanized Central and Rift Valley. And people have told them, those are things, they're not political parties, but they're actually tribal societies. But they have done wise bringing them together.
I want to agree with that.
I want to differ with him.
Bringing them together.
Anthony, please. We should withdraw and apologize.
Yeah.
Jubilee is a national political party. If you look at Ababu Namwamba defecting from ODM.
He's not defected as yet.
He is yet to resign.
He just resigned as Secretary General.
He resigned and he's yet to give out. Why do you force someone to give you his resignation letter?
As a Secretary General.
As a Secretary, yes, and he doesn't need your even your salary for that month.
Because the appointment was done on writing.
Yeah. Okay, he will do it. He will do it. He's a lawyer, and I think he doesn't need anybody's
the direction
to do it, because he has been doing even affidavits for other people, and resigning is not doing that is just a matter of now 1 minute or so.
It's taking
but just a question before we move on. In all honesty, doing something like resignation administratively, the only way you can resign and say to have resigned legitimately is actually by tendering in a written resignation.
I know. Maybe
you can't resign by the roadside, my dear.
And also on the TV, telling people, or even in a rally.
Yeah.
I know he has done it. Maybe you remember even Magerer, how he was removed.
Yeah.
He had not even given his resignation letter and he was removed. So even Ababu.
Yeah.
Who removed Magerer?
Even Ababu, for him to resign, he has been forced to.
But who removed Magerer?
Because the time he said that...
even Raila can say he was removed from ODM when these Mzee from Coast caned him. And you say those are ODM supporters who have caned him, so therefore he's actually been removed in ODM. So you can't say that Magerer was removed.
In the public domain, and we could see being lifted by the men in black.
Let's take this debate forward, please.
Yeah.
I think we should tell Kenyans here, right, in this program, what it is to be in a political party. And if you are doing some resignation or you're defecting, it's supposed to be procedural. It's supposed to actually portray a better way of doing things, because as leaders, very many people look at you as role models. So if you resign at the road at a rally and then you shout by the roadsides, then somebody else who works elsewhere will say, oh, even Babu Namwamba did the same way. So I look at this position and compare it with what happened in Britain just yesterday, when David Cameron was resigning out of I don't know what, you can't even imagine. And he went to the Queen and tendered in his resignation and ushered in the new PM, who is Theresa May.
Yes.
I mean, that's the way things are supposed to be done. Do you think you're doing things?
But let me tell you, let me ask you, most of our politicians have never worked anywhere. You know, even today, where I work, even if we disagree with my boss, but and I want to leave, and I feel that there has been an injustice on me, and I want to leave, I'll write my resignation letter. It's just good manners. And I've worked in other places. Some places I didn't. Some places I left. Some places I left when I was not happy. But because when I started working, I was given an appointment letter. When I want to stop, I give my resignation letter.
That's the only way I believe, madam. Because can somebody tell our politicians that people should style up? You know, we can't just be running this country with this kind of mob justice mentality, where you go outside there and say, today I'm a Secretary General, tomorrow I resign, and then you don't show this done in a procedural way. So we are giving impunity a chance in this country, and our children are taking this thing so seriously. Back to our discussion. I don't know what Babu Namwamba's effect would be as far as 2017 elections are concerned, both for ODM and to the Jubilee side, because they keep saying that they are forming a third force. This third force, how would it influence the outcome of next year's election? I'll begin with you, my dear.
I know Babu Namwamba's camp. I know they have looked at things and they have seen that the only party to belong to, even if they are forming the third force, they will come and merge with Jubilee.
Sure.
At long last, because in Jubilee there is democracy, and in Jubilee you can air your views and you can be given that chance.
Okay.
Unlike in ODM, I think even what is taking Babu Namwamba time to take even his resignation letter is because the minute you say I'm taking my letter to that office, that's the day that you will find people surrounding the ODM offices waiting for Babu Namwamba with stones.
Nick, there's something that cannot go without being challenged. The good madam has just said that if you want to pick one, you look to me. Just recently, 2 weeks ago, a nominated MP talked about 2022, that he doesn't feel that Ruto would be their candidate. You would have thought that somebody dropped Hiroshima Nagasaki bomb in Kenya. Everybody was on his case. Is that the kind of democracy you're talking about? And then ask yourself, have you heard?
No, he was suffering from political hangovers.
Have you heard Jubilee calling even a delegate meeting? And do they even have delegate meeting? And do they even have delegates itself? And if they do have, which process brought in these delegates?
So Jubilee has never had any formal meeting of its members.
Even the so-called Secretary General, the chairman, who knew where they came from? Do you know the Secretary General of URP? Their chairman used to be Okello. Who replaced him? So let us be truthful about these things. And let me tell you, Jubilee is an association of TNA, which is a Kikuyu thing. URP is a Kalenjin thing. So it's just an association of tribes which have come together. It is not a political party. So for some few guys who are lost, like Duale, who have come to be flagged.
Okay, I just want to get a feeling here that we still need political parties that can nurture democracy or a multi-party politics in Kenya. Are we agreeable on this? And this is where our politicians actually use this kind of weakness to, just jump around and give us no proper reason to further our democracy, because our parties themselves still don't give us reasons to believe in ideologies. Actually, even if you ask somebody outside here, what ideology do you subscribe to when you're in Jubilee or in CORD, I'm very sure, just like she said, it's personalities. Nothing policy-like. Yeah. Now, are we now thinking of, how should I put this? What can we do to help further our multi-party democracy and avoid this kind of jumpings we are seeing around here?
I think right now, certain things that are happening that will be very good for our democracy. The fact that Jubilee have realized that TNA and URP have realized this tribal cocoon is not going to help. So let's come together, try to form a political party, invite other people to come in. And so is CORD doing the same, galvanizing themselves. So I wish in the future we have two big political parties and a small one, just to create a balance. If we go on like that, that would be very good. That would be very good for the country. And remember, political parties are always created on an individual. And that individual, if he hands over that political party to the next generation peacefully and a more organized way, then those political parties build up and become very big. So is CCM of Tanzania. Then if you go to Uganda, you used to have UPC when Obote messed up, which was a very good political party. NRM is coming up with one from Museveni, and I hope he will hand it over to the next generation peacefully. Yeah. Because so far what he's doing is not a way of building up the political party.
So about Museveni. Yes. This week was so dramatic when Museveni. I mean, let that one rest actually. Yes, madam. What do we do to nurture our political parties and also further our multi-party democracy?
First of all, and we should start with CORD, because it claims to fight for the democracy. They have been there. They have suffered in this democracy and all that. So we need to start with them to show Kenyans the way. CORD itself, especially ODM. Because we're the patron, has suffered in this country, and we want to let him know that many people have suffered.
Not only him.
Not only him. And even Uhuru Kenyatta suffered one day when he was even tear gassed.
One day. So, you're talking about suffering of one day.
When was this alive? Anthony just made it. When did Uhuru Kenyatta suffer?
And
which
police and came and attacked them. And you see,
the police didn't attack them. The police just threw tear gas at them.
Let me say this. For our political parties, it has to be ideological, and people have to stop this nonsense of following a leader because you are from my tribe and you can offer something to me and not to other communities. It's about people, and I'm challenging Kenyans, even as we approach the general elections. Why don't we also try Jubilee? Jubilee, there is democracy, and you can see even the small parties joining Jubilee. Why haven't we seen? We only have 3 parties that have joined CORD. Why don't we have the other parties joining them? We have so many parties that have joined Jubilee. So let's walk the talk, and if we want this democracy, it has to start with us.
Actually,
and it has started with Jubilee. So the opposition, even Kalonzo Musyoka, his party should even join
Jubilee.
Even the other day you had people from Mukambani say they don't know what this CORD is all about. They don't have space, so they should come to Jubilee. Jubilee, there is a lot of space.
Thank you, Anthony. This week, you don't even have a minute. Just have a half a minute. Okay, what made your week?
Time me for that half a minute.
Yeah, just half a minute. My director is not allowing me any more time.
This week for me is what is happening in Southern Sudan, the chaos that is in Southern Sudan, and it has come out clearly that even the principals, that is Riek Machar and Salva Kiir, are not in total control of their troops. Now, and the problem in Southern Sudan ran very deep, and that is the killing, which I thought that was very, very bad. However, there is something that happened in Southern Sudan that you say maybe there have been improvement. For example, the killing was among the soldiers.
Not the
It was
civilians.
It's the civilian, the casualty among the civilian were very few compared to the soldiers. But the reason we're having issues in Southern Sudan is because of one man called Paul Malong, who is the general of armed forces in Riek Machar's government.
Well,
first, I want to sympathize.
just for a minute.
Yes, I want to sympathize with our colleagues from France who were bombed yesterday. We had a very good time at the French ambassador's residence, and only to wake up to the news that they were attacked. There was a terror attack that killed a lot of people, and we want to, as Kenyans, to stand with them and with their families, and to say that terrorism is all over. Last time we were called, Kenya was called a hotbed of terrorism. Now we can see even in the US it's happening, and we have not heard even our president saying that there's we should not even.
This was a hotbed of terror.
So it's a world problem.
It's a problem that all of us must face.
It's a problem that all of us are facing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And with that, we now want to come to close of this. It's been wonderful having you two, lady and a gentleman, today. And I think the feeling was so nice because the lady was around. I wish we have this kind of time every now and then when the program is on. From us here at LTN, we say thank you very much for being our very good viewer for this night. And please don't dare stay away anytime this program goes on air. And besides that, we still have many programs that are supposed to help you actually get entertained, educated, and more importantly, be informed. Till we meet again, goodbye for now.